Hi guys, I'm just going to do a quick and easy one today. Somebody in Joy Creations group on Facebook asked me a while ago if I could do something to match this swimsuit that she really liked. I'll just quickly show you. This is what the swimsuit looks like. So I said I would. It's almost a Geode look, I guess. So I'm kind of being inspired by that. Um, and all you're going to need is some translucent clay. I've got some Primo white translucent here. You don't have to use that. You can use Cernit or just regular Primo translucent, whichever. This is rolled onto the thickest setting on my pasta machine, which is a 0. And then I've got a little strip just here. It's just a tiny bit rolled out really thin onto a number 6. Like I say, 0 is the thickest, 9 is the thinnest, so it's quite thin. I'm just going to put that to one side. You'll also need some inks. I've got the inks I want to use, and I've got a black ink. Obviously this is Cernit, but you don't have to use Cernit. And then I do have a couple of the Picassio inks which are listed in my Amazon storefront, and I'm going with Sunset and Coffee. I want to get the colours as close as I can to that. I'm not going to say it's going to be exact, but obviously you could use any colours you wanted anyway. And then I've also got this Ranger ink, and this one's called Pink Sherbet. Because it kind of looks very similar to the colour in the picture, but any colours you want to use, guys. You'll also need some kind of gold metallic pen. I've got this one. If it's not already listed in my Amazon, I will list it. And some gold leaf, and also some crushed glass chips, tiny little chips. There's a whole box of them. If they're not in my Amazon, I think they are, but if not, I'll put them in there later. I'll check after the video, but I'm going to go with this kind of goldy colour here. And you'll also need some Q-tips and some isopropyl alcohol, aka rubbing alcohol. That's a must. You definitely need that. You can get that from anywhere, just about anywhere. Walmart has it. Let me just quickly show you the bottle just in case some of you don't know what it is. It's this stuff, isopropyl alcohol. Okay, I think that's everything. Oh, and a straw. A straw. I've got a metal one, but you could just use a plastic one. All right, so let's get started then. I'm going to get my spray bottle with the isopropyl alcohol in it. I'm just going to give it one quick spritz like that, just so I can get a little bit of movement with the ink when I drop it on. And I'm going to get the pinky colour first. And I'm just going to boop, boop, boop like that. And then a boop of black just here, but not too much because that's overpowering. And then I'm going to get my straw and I'm just going to blow upwards. It's pretty random, but I want the ink to go one direction each time, so that's why I'm doing it like that. And then I'm going to get some of this coffee and I'm going to go boop like that and blow that up. Like so. Let's try some of this orangey colour. Boop, boop. And you can see I'm blowing colour into colour and pushing it all forward in one direction. It's giving you a little bit of a pattern there. I'm going to drop a little bit more of this over here because I want some more of that pink. So that's all you're really doing, guys. It's pretty straightforward. But you do need to blow it all in one direction like that. And periodically grab a Q-tip. Don't let it dry too much before you do this. In fact, I'll just spray the tip. It's easier. So I've sprayed it with some rubbing alcohol. And I'm just going to dot it here and there to give the ink a little bit of a bloom. And also lift a little bit of the colour, especially where it's darker. But like I say, guys, you can use any colours you want to. It's kind of a cool effect. It's very straightforward, and you've probably seen plenty of videos where people use inks like this, but I'm trying to get that almost fabric-y look. Right, let's go with a little bit more of the coffee colour here and a tiny little bit more black over here, just a tiny bit. and I'm going to blow again. Let's turn it round and go with some of this pink. Just try and blend it into that black a little bit, because the black can be overpowering. But again, at least going in the same direction. Let's get some more rubbing alcohol on a Q-tip and just lift a little bit of that, and just to give it a little bit of a bloom here and there. Okay, I'll do a little bit more and then I'll do the rest off camera, but you get the idea, guys. So I'm going to go boop with the copper, not the copper, the coffee, boop with the pink, and boop with the orange. And I'm just going to blow up again. And you blow it all the way up onto a piece of clay that's not yet been covered. Obviously, you're going to get the lighter. It's going to be lighter. All right, so I'm going to go and do the rest off camera, but you get the idea. Just little boop, bloop, bloop, blow in the same direction. Little bit of alcohol. I keep saying alcohol ink, rubbing alcohol here and there just to lift some of the colour out and to give a few blooms. And I'll be back. Alright, I've nearly finished this then, and I just wanted to add a little bit more black, but I don't want to tip it straight onto the clay because it will just overpower. So I'm just going to add a little drop on my tile like so. Get a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol on it. Dip it in there, just a little tiny dip, and I'm just going to gently tap it here and there just to give a bit of a line going through, if that makes sense. Just a bit of definition with the black. Not a great deal, just a little tiny bit here and there. Alright, so that's really it, guys, for the alcohol ink part. Just have fun with it. Use whichever colours you want to use. Just play around. The only thing I'm not sure about is this bit here. It's a little bit too dark, but I'm scared to screw it up. But I'll try. I'm just going to add a little bit more of that pink and see if I can blow some of that out. Just to lighten it. It's lightened it a little bit, but no worries. I'm just going to add some more ink to it. So just keep playing around, guys. Like I say, just blow it all in the same direction. And you can play with the rubbing alcohol to lift the colour, etc. And give a few little blooms and pattern on the ink. Alright, so that's that. It looks dark, but it will lighten when it's baked. Alright, so that needs to be left to dry. I'm going to leave that to dry, clean up a bit, and I'll be back. Just so you know, and I'm not missing anything out, I did give a quick spritz with the rubbing alcohol, just boop, like that over there, just to give it a little bit more of a textured look. And you can see the bloom. So I really do need to leave that to dry, and I shall return. This is almost there, but not quite. But if you just put it to one side there with you, the next little bit. I've got this sticker translucent that I've already rolled out. This is second number 6. I'm just going to get my copper leaf, try not to spill it everywhere, and just place it on this one. Press down. So, I got a new phone a few months ago, and I've noticed a difference in the sound of the audio, and I've tinkered with the settings, and I think I've got it as best as I'm going to get it, guys. I feel like it's loud enough. I just don't feel like it's as crisp as my other phone, but it is what it is. So as long as you can hear it, I'm happy. But you know, I've tinkered with it, and hopefully it's better than it has been, because it almost sounded like I was underwater. I felt it kind of sounded a little bit like you're going through a tunnel or something. Loud enough, but just not very crisp. So anyway, well, I say I've tinkered with it. Hubby tinkered with the settings, and I think it's as good as it's going to get, unless I go out and start spending a lot of money on new headphones and microphones and all things like that. Anyway, so I've covered this strip with the leaf. I'm just going to pop it on the table, on the tile, so it's got something to stick to, like so. Make sure it's stuck down. Let's put that there. And I'm going to grab an X-Acto blade, and I'm just going to cut some little wiggly lines out of it. And this is just really to add like a little bit of a almost fabric look. Let me just get rid of that raggedy edge, if that makes sense, just to add a little bit of texture. So I'm just going to go boop, 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 like this, just some little wiggly lines. And now I can't see the line. Where is it? There. So I'm just going to do that and then gently lift it off the tile if I can. I've still got my gloves on, which is a bit awkward. I should have taken them off maybe. And I'm just going to get that, and we're just creating some of those lines that you see, like lines of separation that you see on the picture. And I'm just going to curve it round like that. I'm only adding a few of these because we will be adding the crushed glass and the gold pen. But I'm just going to do a couple of these. It just adds a little bit of texture. Let's just do a smaller one there. Let's see if I can lift it. And I'm just going to go like this. So you can put those wherever you want to. I'm just going to do another one. Just a tiny one. And just bring that down here a little bit, like so. I mean, you can do as many of those as you want to. I think I'm just going to do one more and call it a day for this. Let me get rid of this now, out of the way. Oops, sorry guys, knocked the camera. Let's just do another one kind of down here like that and just kind of curve it around a little bit. And that's it guys. And then I'm just going to gently burnish this so it's flusher against the rest of the clay. It's still a bit inky. I don't think I'm going to go really flush because this is going to get coated with resin, so you know the resin will flatten everything out. But just to make sure it's stuck on there, like so. Okay, so the next thing then is just to cut out the shapes, and the rest of the stuff will be done once it's baked. So I'm just going to grab some cutters. I'm using the Ojoy Creation cutters here. Everything is linked in the pinned comment and the description, guys. So links to my Amazon storefront and Ojoy Creations cutters and blueberry beads for clay and inks, etc. And if you're in England, you can also go to Kaylee and Clay store, and she's based in England. And she's got some fab cutters as well, of which I do have some. And she also stocks some of the Clay Boutique custom cutters, as does Ojoy Creations. All right, so I'm just going to do a couple of pieces, guys. And you're just going to put it where you think it looks good. I'll do a couple of pieces on camera and the rest off. Not that I'm going to get many pieces out of that, but I did make some more, so I'll show you those as well if I can find them, because I kind of had a bit of a tidy up and put things away. I do that and then I forget where I put things. So if I can find a couple of other pieces that I did similar to this, I will get them and show you. So let me just grab another piece of paper and pop that down there. So that's that one. And then I'm going to go with this one, hopefully, if I can fit it on. I like that up there. Then let me get a different cutter, guys. I like that one up there. That's too big. Let me just grab another cutter, guys. I'll be back. I grabbed another cutter, this diamond shaped one. Again, this is an Oh Joy Creations cutter because I really like this bit up here. Obviously, you can make a bigger slab than this, so you'll have more choice, but I've already made a stack of them, so I don't really want to make too many. So I'm just going to pop that there like that. Boop. Now, obviously, if you cut it out on paper, it's going to stick to the cutter, but it's quite easy to pop them out like so. So we've got this little bit left. So I'm just going to go like that, I think. At least get some of that mottled look in it. So that's 3 pendants. Okay, so these are going to go in the oven on top of paper, on top of a tile. That's how I like to bake. And we'll be back. I'll be back for the next step. I'm going to bake them for an hour, guys, at 275, which is Primo's recommended temperature. I'll be back. These have been baked then, and I've sanded the edges in the back so they're nice and smooth, and also it helps for the resin to not recede so much at the edges if you do that. Anyway, so we're going to get the gold pen, one of these. Just make sure there's some ink flowing, and we're just going to draw some squiggly lines like so, and the same on this one. You can make the lines a little bit thicker if you want to. Let's make this a bit thicker. Do as many of those as you want. I'm not doing many, guys, just a few here and there. Just little wiggles, like so. And that's that. Now this does need to be completely dry, and it's best to heat set them. So I'm just going to grab my heat gun, just quickly go over it just to make sure it's dry. I'll be back. Next step then, now we've done the gold pen, I'm going to grab that those glass chips, and I'm going to be using one of the goldy coloured ones. You could even use the coppery ones, whichever ones you fancy. Again, the colours are all on you, what you want to do. But I'm going to go with these ones here. I don't know if the camera's a bit out of focus, but I'm going with these ones. They're a kind of champagne-y gold, I guess. So all I'm going to do then is going to get my resin. I use Let's Resin UV resin. It's my favourite at the moment. It used to be J Diction until they changed the formula. So now I recommend this one. And I'm just going to, so you can see how I resin as well. So I just pour a little bit in the middle. Don't be too scarce with it. You need a good amount so it's easy to spread. And I'm just going to gently drag it over to the edges like so. I'll just do one on camera, guys, just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to do the same on all of these pieces and also show you some other ones that I've made as well. But this is what I do. So you've got a coat of resin on there. Take it to the edges as far as you can. You may need to add another coat so it levels out more because you've got this raised bit here. I mean, you could burnish those on smoother if you wanted to. But I just do a little coat to start with. And then this is the awkward bit. You get some tweezers and you're going to add these little gold crushed glass pieces. So I'm just going to drop a few on here and there and just follow one of those lines around with it. You can do as many of these as you want to. It is a bit awkward, but you can move it around in the resin like so. Okay, let's just add a few more. These tweezers aren't that great, to be honest, guys. I should get some ones with the flatter tips because they don't, it's just kind of getting sticky and messy here. So I'm just going to grab this and try and plop them on with this. And like I say, because you've got the resin down, you can move them around like so. Let me just see if I can pick these up with this. Might be a bit better. Just drop them on. Okay, so that's all you do, guys. Now, the ones that I did previously are a little bit lighter than this in colour. So my suggestion, if you think you've gone a bit dark, not that it matters, you can just get a Q-tip and add a little bit more of the rubbing alcohol just to thin the colour out, but do it before it dries. So let's say if you put a bit too much black on, like I did, I feel, on this, just get a Q-tip, soak it in the rubbing alcohol, and just apply it over the black where the black is and lift the colour out a little bit. But like I say, make sure it's still wet when you do that, otherwise it won't lift. Alright, so that's all I'm doing, guys. I'm going to do the same thing on these. They're going to go under my UV lamp to cure. Alright guys, they're out of the UV light now. These are the 3 that I did on camera, and these are a couple that I did previously. Let me just explain a couple of things. So you saw me do the glass and everything, and a coat of resin. But then once they came out, I put another coat of resin on top of that, so they're nice and smooth, so you haven't got any rough bits poking through from the glass or whatever. I haven't completely finished these. I haven't done the backs yet, but these 2 that I did in my previous practice run, I've actually resined and glittered on the back. And all you do is pour a little bit of resin in the middle, get a little spoon like this, or something that you can scoop some glitter out, just pop it on top, mix it in, spread it out, and put it under the UV light. So they've got glitter on the back. Now you can see a little bit of difference in these 2, and do you know why? Derp, derp, derp. I forgot to do. I actually missed out a step, but it's an easy fix, so I'll just explain what I did. Other than adding extra alcohol ink to lift some of the colour out, what I did with these ones, when I'd done my slab, I've got all my inks in place. I've got the gold leaf in place. Then what I did was, so it was rolled out on the thickest setting, and then what I did was I passed it through the pasta machine on the next setting down, so it makes it a little bit thinner and it stretches it out, and you can actually see a little bit more texture on these where the ink's kind of stretched out, and that also gives it a lighter colour as well. So derp for forgetting that bit, but I looked at them and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot I did that. But, you know, you might prefer these ones. Either way, they're gorgeous, they're pretty. And before I go, there's a little bit in the video I noticed when I played back that the sound cut out. It's for like 20 or 30 seconds, probably not even that. And then the sound comes back on. I don't know what happened. I'm going to have to fiddle with my phone again. But in that bit of video where it goes quiet, you can literally see what I'm doing, so I probably don't even have to explain it, but all I'm doing is getting that thin strip of clay that I had and applying gold leaf, and then the sound comes back on. So rather than me going in and doing a voiceover on that bit, because to be honest it's self-explanatory, I just thought I'd let you know what happened. All right guys, anyway, I'm going. I won't be doing a video next week because I'm going to be on vacay, but thanks for watching and I'll catch you later. Bye.